13 days to go to the elections. It's going to be critical. Democrats have a lot to lose. Our next guest says some of the Democrats' key constituents might not show up at the polls in significant numbers. Here is Republican pollster Chris Wilson. All right, Chris, first of all, I want to deal with the Hispanic vote. We're hearing a lot about President Obama, who may issue some kind of amnesty after the election for illegals. Now, that's an inducement for Hispanics to get out there and vote because illegals will be made legal. Now, is there any evidence that Hispanics will be voting in large numbers in this election?
Well, I would suggest President Obama and the Democratic strategists are seeing the same data that we are, which is that right now the Democrat constituencies that President Obama was able to motivate. And when you speak about Hispanics, you've got two levels. You have Republican Hispanics and Democrat Hispanics, just like you do whites or any other race. But what we're seeing is Democrat Hispanics are not turning out at the same level that they were in 2012 in early voting in states that are tracking it. Nevada, Colorado, several others. And that is leads the president to a situation where he's worried about that. That could really cost him a lot of seats. And now, looking at the sort of policy changes that you're discussing could help maybe change that out. But I doubt at this point it has an effect. At
the moment, Hispanics are not going to vote in the same number. Democrat Hispanics, okay. How about African Americans and young people? They turned out very heavily in 2012. How about this time around?
They did, and the one thing about African Americans, young people, even Democrat constituencies as a whole, is they tend to vote more in person when they do early voting, whereas Republicans tend to vote more by mail. But even at those levels, we're still not seeing them turn out, and it's really fascinating when you look at Colorado. It's all vote by mail. Nevada, it's got like 18 days of early voting. You're able to track these right down to the number, and again, what we're seeing is they are not turning out the same levels that they did even that they did in 2010, much less what they did in 2012. So no, I would say each one of those groups right now, Democrats are lagging far behind where they were certainly in 2012, but right now even where they were in 2010.
Quickly, women, do they fall into the same category, not in such voting numbers?
I would say Democratic women and certainly younger Democratic women do. Again, where we're tracking it, it's not happening. You've got places like Colorado where they're 13 points behind where they were even in 2010. Same with North Carolina, same with Iowa. Right now, you could really go right down the level of each one of these Democratic constituencies. The group that made up their base, the group that reelected President Obama in 2012, are falling so far behind where they were in where they were before. It's just got to be causing major concern.
Oh, yeah.
Particularly when you've got President Obama making the comments he did yesterday where he said, my policies are on the ballot. It's just causing major panic with Democrat consultants across the country.
Chris Wilson, that's very important information, a very good pointer for 13 days hence. Chris, thanks very much for joining us. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Red light cameras. Hate them. Now, a judge delivers a ruling that might get the ball rolling on getting rid of them altogether. All rise. Judge Napolitano is next.